Hi everyone, Digital Indie here. Boy, have I got a treat this week. I got a hall pass and was able to go down to the Four Corners region and shoot some video. And my purpose of this trip is to visit a few sites that I've been to before, but also explore some that I've wanted to come to for a long time. And it's kind of late in October, so kind of iffy on the weather, but looks like we're going to be in good shape. It's a beautiful place. I'm just camping out below these sandstone cliffs and starting to hear a few coyotes howl in the night, and gonna get camp set up and get ready to do some exploring tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to sharing these adventures with you. Good morning. It's a little before sunrise, and I've just come up to a hill above where I was camping, and it's got a really beautiful view of the entire valley. I'll try and let you see what I see. And in these cliffs behind me is where this two-story ruin is that I'm going to go up to. But it's fun being in the desert in the morning, especially in this area, because you hear the bustling of things waking up, coyotes, the cows. You know, it's a free-range cattle place, so open range, so that they're all mooing and making cantankerous noises as they stir from sleeping, and it's just kind of fun to be in the desert in the morning. So I've headed out straight from my campsite, and I'm trudging up a faint path through rocks and boulders covering this steep hillside. You can see the large sandstone cliffs above me, and I need to reach the base of these to begin traversing south to the ruins that we'll explore. From what I can tell, we're going to see multi-story, multi-room intact dwellings made by the Ancestral Puebloans more than 800 years ago. I'm so excited. Now I like to spend some time before visiting a place looking at topographic maps and online satellite maps to come up with a plan on how to get there. I did that for this location, and I hope it helps me avoid some wrong turns and having to retrace my steps. Now my videos may be a little different than what some folks are used to. I'm not in a rush, and I don't just skip to the destination as soon as possible and edit out the journey beforehand. I'm taking you along and let you experience the hike in, and you get to see what I see. There's a lot of interesting things to see along the way, and I'd love it if you imagine you are doing this adventure yourself. Wow, those are some nice cliffs. I'm glad I made it up here. It's an amazing view of the valley below. It's a nice view from up here. We've done maybe 400 or 500 feet of vertical from the valley below. The trail has definitely gotten a little thinner and more cliffy up here. Let's see where this goes. So I'm at the top, right at the cliffs, and this happens pretty often, but as I was following this path right on the cliff, ended up getting topped out, and looks like I need to go just on a path a little bit lower. So I'm gonna have to retrace my steps and go back and then try the other way, but it's all part of exploring. Some paths don't work out, some do. It's just part of the thing. It's beautiful up here. It looks like I should probably pay attention here. I'd rather not go off this left side. I don't know what you're thinking, but this is a really cool section through here. You know, one thing about exploring in the desert is there's no lack of sharp things here, whether it's mesquite, cactuses, thorny trees. They all seem to congregate in the thinnest spots that you have to squeeze through. Oh, that looks like a rock wall right there. Wow! Look at that. It's a door. It's a door on the second story. It looks like it's just sitting on a sheer cliff, too. Wow. Looks like there's a pretty big size room structure right here. And there's still the timbers here. Oh, look, there's pictographs on the wall. See the red ones up top? Some of them are pretty faint. Yeah, this looks like a pretty big room right here. It's amazing that the timbers, that tells me there's probably a second story on here. And some of the walls have fallen in. They had a great view. This is just stunning. And it's a T-shaped door. Wow. It's in incredible condition. Looks like there used to be a floor here on top of these timbers, and then there were rooms underneath. Got an entryway up top here, and then you've got a door that goes into this tower. And you've still got the logs sticking out that would have been the floor or the roof inside. This is just unbelievable. Now I've got like a 6-foot telescoping pole that I've put the camera on, and I'm inserting it into these doors. Now I'm not touching or damaging these structures. I respect them, but I did want to show you what's in here. Can you imagine those timbers are 800 to 1,000 years old? The desert climate just preserves them. Check this out. Look at that roof. Look at the sticks and the work done to that. And it's perfect. This is incredible. Just I'm trying to imagine a family going to bed at night. There's a fire out on that patio, and the light is flickering on the ceiling right here. Maybe some children looking up at it as they fall asleep. Now, this T-shaped door is unusual to see this far north of Chaco Canyon. And in Ancestral Pueblo architecture, it's considered highly significant. It's believed to represent a connection to Mesoamerican cultural influences, particularly a Mayan glyph representing the mouth of the earth, which is associated with the underworld or a gateway to the spirit world. but this is would signify this is a significant area. So it looks like the construction of this floor is you've got larger logs, then smaller sticks put in there, and then they would put mud over top of it to create the floor for the next level up. It's really neat construction. I'm glad we're able to see this. Oh, and look, the door to this room is right there on the floor below. So it's inside of the room. Well, that was just incredible. I've come down below the area or that structure on the flats below it, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a number of walls up above me. I mean, from here it almost looks like a castle. Now I've gone up to the level that I was on from the other side, so I'm approaching on that cliff band from the other direction. I don't want to slip here, and of course there's cactus at the thinnest spot on this cliff. But look at this room. Now I'm going to whoop out my telescoping pole again for the camera, so take a look on top here. Oh, look. There's entryways on top. You got one there in that far corner. Looks like there's one close to me. Looks like even the remains of doors there, so you could hop in from the top. Or maybe you could pop your head out and look around. It looks like there's an entryway down at the bottom, too. See right there by my feet? Let's take a look in there. Interesting. This doesn't look like a living space. More like a lookout. What do you think? Anybody there? Wow. This has got a pretty high wall on it. Cool. So there's probably a second story on this one too. Almost looks like the lower level was built at one time and then the upper levels maybe added on later because it has different color mud. Let's look in here. It's a nice doorway. Yeah, you can see the wood in there up at the top of the screen. So there would have been a floor there. Almost looks like they may have used bark or something instead of the twigs we saw in the previous room on the other side. This is so neat. So I'm walking along this little cliff, and you can see evidence where I'm walking off to the side where there may have been small little storage structures or granaries where they would have stored stuff, but nothing significant. And you got this big cliff above you, a roof that would have protected you from rain, so maybe you could sit out here and do your work. Oh, kind of looks like a seat. I'm not sure about that, but you could sit there and maybe make stone tools or baskets or grind corn. There's a lot of rock off to the right. It looks like there's some. Well, actually, it almost looks like there's a wall below me. Wow, this was definitely worth the hike to get up to these cliffs. I mean, it's an extensive set of Ancestral Pueblo ruins in good shape. Lots of doors. There's a couple T-shaped doors here, and you can peer inside of it. And there's still the wood and branches used to support the floors in here. It's just incredible preservation. And what a treat to come up here and see this. And I hope that you enjoy seeing it also. So the tricky thing is this is on a cliff that's probably 50 feet high. And at the bottom of a 50-foot cliff is a 100-foot cliff. So I'd prefer not to fall down. And you're probably asking, well, why are you holding the camera while walking along that cliff? And that's really a good question. But it's what I feel like doing right now. And I want to show you what kind of this experience is like. So I'll take that risk. The other risk, which would not be fun, is there are these huge cactuses on here. And absent falling to my death, I could land on one of those cactuses and spend the rest of my evening picking those suckers out. I'd prefer not to do that. This is Digilandy. Oh my god. Wishing he was a little smaller. Okay, I have to climb down a cliff, so I'm gonna turn this off for a minute. So, as I was climbing all the way up here, I was thinking, man, that would really suck if you were thirsty and you had to go get a drink and you'd have to go all the way down to get it. Probably not the best place to live. But then I started looking over here, and I had a hunch. See where it's really bushy? And there's a pour off right there. Well, it's not just a pour off. There's a seep in there. And a seep is basically like a spring. And so you've got a good reliable water source right there. And I bet that's the reason this place was built. It's very defensible, and you've got a water source. And so, in the late Pueblo,
periods where defense and security was a big issue, you've got it all here. And that's why this place is probably so extensive and built out. And boy, this is a neat location. Now, of course, this may be a positive or a negative to my personality, but you know, it's kind of like curiosity killed the cat. And I just have this curiosity sometimes that gets me in trouble. But there's nothing I can do about it. I have to go find stuff out. And sometimes I wish that maybe I wasn't so curious, but okay. I was right. So this is not just a pour off. It's a seep. And so here you've got a reliable water source for these people without having to traipse all the way down the creek. Because that not would have been not fun. This place probably never would have been built if this seep wasn't here. So cool. Look at all this plant life. Very brushy.
Well, that's a wrap for today. I'm pretty tired after today's adventure. It's nice to get some hot food inside me and just relax by a campfire. I am still amazed at what we discovered today and the incredible preservation. These sites are so important to preserve and protect so that future generations can experience the same thing you and I did today. I've left a couple of minutes of video here at the end dedicated to just this campfire. I won't talk anymore, and you're welcome to pull up a log, make a s'more or two, and enjoy the fire. This is Digital Indie signing off, and have a good night.